These are 20 of my simple daily habits that I have implemented to double my Etsy income without doubling my amount of work. Hi, I'm Bailey, the owner of Bailey Design Co., a 7-figure digital product shop on Etsy, and I now teach others how to create similar types of shops here on this channel and in my online communities. And no, I'm not saying to implement all 20 of these on day one. Some of them can be implemented just once a week, but I recommend starting out with at least 1 or 2 from each section and then building on as you go. So section number 1 is all about optimizing your workflow. And the first thing that you should do is to batch your work. This means from creating your AI designs to bulk mocking up your images to then listing them on Etsy. Any and everything in my experience should be batched worked because it's a lot easier to get more done if you're just focusing on one task. This is really important for someone like me with ADHD who gets really distracted really easily. And if I'm just given one thing to work on at one time, I'm way more likely to put all of my focus in and get that done in a period of time and then move on to the next task where I can, again, dedicate my full focus much more easily. Number 2 is to plan for tomorrow today. So at the end of my day, every day, I will just take 5 minutes to write down or type down exactly what I need to do the next day. So that can be 3 things from creating 20 designs for the Etsy shop. It could be creating 1 email for my email list and maybe writing 1 YouTube script. That just keeps me really organized. When I wake up the next day, I look at my task list and I can get straight to work without just like starting to go through email and get distracted on what should I do today or what matters most. Number 3 is to set up micro goals. So this is really important so that you're not setting these huge astronomical goals like I want to list 1,000 listings on Etsy over the next 30 days. I would highly recommend that you focus on setting up little goals that you can achieve each day, one at a time. So that could be create 3 new listings on Etsy each day, and then continue to add to that. Number 4 is to leverage AI for inspiration. A lot of the times in the design space, we get really burnt out and have a block that just comes with creating so many designs all of the time. So it's really useful to use a tool like ChatGPT. Just type in that you are an Etsy seller and you sell digital designs for sublimation tumblers, and you are creating ones for nurses in a particular style or aesthetic, and to give you a list of 10 more occupations where this design and aesthetic would work well, and then you can keep on designing without any hiccup in the flow. Number 5 is to automate repetitive tasks. So this means anything that there is an AI tool out there for, you should very much be using, whether that is from like bulk AI generation or maybe bulk mocking up your listings or listing to Etsy. There are several tools out there that will do the listing process for you. I use a tool called Vella, though My Designs works really great for listing over on Etsy, and they also have a great bulk AI generation tool and mockup tool included as well. So if you are looking for something that is an all-in-one type tool to get as much out of it as you can, then I would really recommend My Designs for that. So this next section is all about creating irresistible listings that sell on Etsy over and over again. So number 1 is a daily listing inventory. And this is something relatively new for me because I used to do this in bulk, like all at once every 3 to 4 months. And that would take hours, if not days of my time to get through the amount of listings that I have. So I'm taking this as a 1 day at a time, 5-minute approach. So I will go into my Etsy listings and go to the very final page, which is the last page of my listings because those are the ones that have not been renewed or sold. And then I'm just going through one page at a time and deactivating anything that has not sold or that was a holo design that didn't do well, or maybe it's something that just did not get any favorites at all, and I know it was just due to lack of demand, or maybe the design just was not good for that particular niche. By doing this daily, this is going to clean out my shop and make sure that I don't have a ton of listings that are old and like dragging it down with no sales or conversions versus spending at least a day or 2 going through 4,000 plus designs every 4 months. Number 2 is to make sure any listings that I put up have good SEO that is trending. So that means search terms that are actively being searched for by customers on Etsy so that I have the best chance of being shown. Number 3 is to take 5 minutes every day and analyze competitors' shops. You can save competitors in a tool like eWing so that you can reference them easily, and this will just make it really easy for you to develop a habit of seeing what's trending and what's working on Etsy in real time. Number 4 is to make sure that you are using good mockups when you are listing your products. So you might not necessarily be doing this every day, but when you are doing it, just make sure that you are using high converting listing mockups that are working well on Etsy or that look very similar. Number 5 is to create bundles. So we've seen a massive uptick on Etsy with the bundles or the whole shop strategy. So it is working really, really well. So what you can do is consider your items that are already selling well and create a bundle that is themed around that particular product with other similar products, and then price that at a higher price point. Since your main item is already created, this shouldn't take very much time, as you just need to replicate the design across other either types of products or different niches that make sense for that design. So number 3, or section number 3, is all about marketing smarter, not harder. So number 1 is to take 10 minutes every day and engage on whatever social media platform that your audience tends to hang out on. For me, it was both Pinterest and still currently Facebook groups. So just take 10 minutes a day to either share a tip or to engage with other people in the community, and that way you're getting your name out there and seen. Number 2 is to post a pin, a reel, or a Facebook post. So depending on what platform you are using to grow your audience on, this will depend on what type of social media post that you post. So you could take a video of you creating a design or maybe the process. You could create a pin with the design itself linking back to your Etsy shop, and that would be the same for your Facebook group if you were growing one. Number 3 is probably more of a weekly habit, but that is to send an email. So this one works for me because I just send basically a weekly roundup of all of the designs that I created for that week so that they know what is new to the shop, and it just keeps me top of mind for those customers and keeps them coming back again and again. Number 4 is to leverage Etsy ads. And while this one again does not need to be done necessarily every day, at the bare minimum, probably weekly, you should look at your ads if you are running them and remove any that you are showing up for the wrong keywords, or maybe they are just losing money because there is a lot of demand and search for it, but they are not purchasing. That usually means that there is something wrong with the design, and so make sure that you are removing those daily. Number 5 is to encourage reviews. So in the beginning, I would daily go through my list of orders and message everyone, thanking them for their purchase, asking them if they had any issues downloading it, and then also if they would mind leaving a review. This brought in so many new reviews in the beginning, and yes, it did take a little bit of time each day, but it was definitely well worth it. So number 4, or section number 4, is all about building long-term success for your Etsy shop. So number 1 is you should always be tracking your metrics. So this means the sales on your Etsy shop. You need to be looking to see what is actually selling, and if that is related to maybe the niche that you're selling in. So maybe it's nurse related designs that seem to be selling really well, or maybe even it's a particular design style. So maybe you are seeing a nurse type of design sell well, a teacher type of design, and a 4th of July, but they all have a similar type of style. And so you can take that style and then continue to duplicate that along your other types of designs in the future. Number 2 is to learn something new every day. So I would dedicate 10 minutes every day to either watching a YouTube tutorial or reading a blog post, either about Etsy strategy or AI design, to keep you on top of things and always be learning. Number 3 is engage with an Etsy community. So I did do this when I first started out. I joined a lot of different Etsy forums and Etsy Facebook groups. Would be careful with the Facebook groups as there can be a lot of negativity in those. So do be sure to choose your community wisely. I do have 3 different communities here on the Skool platform that are all about Etsy, so you can check those out if that interests you, but try surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals as you will learn so much in the process. Number 4 is to daily celebrate your wins. Whether that is a small micro goal that you hit, like maybe listing 3 different images, or that you got 5 sales that day, it really doesn't matter as long as you are acknowledging your daily wins. That will help you keep going so much further. And finally, number 5 of this section, and out of all of these 20, is just to stay consistent. So there's really no quick way to success if you don't implement some type of consistency, whether that is in the habits of marketing or listing or optimizing your shop. It all starts with being consistent with the smallest thing to the biggest thing. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.